What we were discussing, we were mainly discussing the different behavior of a human psychology which are impacting the organization. In that, we studied attitude, perception, personality, and learning. What is the difference between attitude and perception we discussed? Main difference is attitude is a visual behavior which you can see in human psychology. What is a human being is behaving in the public? That means you can see. But perception is very much internal. You cannot see. That's the main difference between attitude and perception. All this human psychology, attitude, perception, personality, learning, they are different traits, different nature, and we will study the characteristics, different types, which are impacting the organizational behavior. That is the main concept, main theory in your syllabus, OB, organizational behavior. Attitude we discussed a little bit, but we'll rediscuss one second. This diagram I have shown you in the earlier class, component of attitudes. What are the different component of attitudes? Cognitive component, emotional component, behavioral component. What do you mean by cognitive? Cognitive means in Odia, bhavana, soch, in Hindi. Whatever you are thinking, suppose you are seeing me, my class, my background, my image, so you are thinking something. That's a perception you are creating yourself. That is one component, cognitive. Whatever you are thinking, whatever coming from your inner thought, that is cognitive component of attitude. Emotional, affectiveness, anything coming from your emotion. Suppose you are going on a long journey. You are watching outside from the train, from a bus. So there are a lot of things going in front of you. You are capturing very few, whatever you like. So that thing will learn later, but anything coming from emotions, suppose whatever you saw from outside, suppose there is one thing is very similar to you, or you saw one person who is wearing a shirt or pant, and you have the same shirt, same pant. So you are thinking that is emotional. You are thinking, okay, I have the same thing. That is coming from you have an attachment to that object. So you are drawing one attitude based on whatever you saw. Behavioral is whatever you are behaving. Suppose you are in a public place, one person is smoking, you don't want that person to smoke. So what you are doing? You are going, asking and requesting, or you are showing some action to remove that cigarette. So that means your behavior says that you don't like smoking. So that is behavioral attitude. So these are the different components of attitude. One person is behaving something or expressing something from emotion that affects surrounding, or a person is thinking something. So all these are different components of attitude. Different types of attitude. That's what I discussed. positive attitude, negative attitude, neutral attitude, second attitude. All the positive qualities are belongs from positive attitude. Suppose confidence, self-confidence, happiness, sincerity, determination, truthfulness, all these positive signs. Whatever you are seeing, the good quality of a human being, it's come under positive attitude. Negative attitude, any negativity. A person is negative, which that means what? A person has negative thoughts, anger, doubt, frustration. So any behavior which is negative, that is negative attitude. Neutral attitude. Neutral attitude means it's neither positive nor negative. That means a person is neutral. You have seen persons who has no interest on anything. They will say no or yes, nothing. Whatever you do, they are okay with that approach. That is called negative attitude. Confidence, whether they are not confident or confident. So that means person is having both the attitude or doesn't care anything. It's called neutral attitude. So they are neither positive nor negative. Second attitude is nothing but the too much of negativity. That means wherever तुम देखते हो पागलों को, and too much angry, too much negative, and you cannot change them. That is called second attitude, which is very rare. So that means attitudes are four types. First thing is component, how attitude is coming, then different types of attitude. These are different types of attitude: positive attitude, negative attitude, neutral attitude, second attitude. So this is one behavior, one psychology which impacts your organization attitude. In the next slide, I have given the details of that component. Whatever we discussed: cognitive component, affective component, behavioral component. We discussed now, we'll read through it. Cognitive component. What is cognitive component? The cognitive component of attitude refers to the beliefs, thoughts, and attitude that we would associate with an objects. तुम गोटे जिनस को देखी पाइल, तुम मत देखिए मो बैकग्राउंड को देखिए तुम कौन भावुच कि तुम्हें जो तुम जर्निंग कर गोटे ट्रेन ने बाहर देखुच कि बस तुम देखिए कौन भावुच गोटे ऑब्जेक्ट को देखिए तुम कौन भावुच. It is the opinion or belief segment of an attitude. It refers to that part of the attitude that is related to the general knowledge of a person. तुम्हें जो ऑब्जेक्ट को देखुच सेटा कौन भावुच तुम मन भीतर तुम ब्रेन ने कौन चली, that is cognitive component of attitude. Affective component is something I was telling, emotional feelings. Whatever you are thinking, whatever you are visualizing is coming from your emotion, your feelings. The affective component is the emotional or feeling segment of an attitude. It is related to the statement which affects another person. Suppose तुम गोटे कौन कहल कि तुम गोटे कौन देखिल कौन गोटे एक्सप्रेस कल, that is coming from your feelings because you feel that and you have a emotional attachment to a thing, and your expression is coming, your attitude is coming, your behavior is coming from that feeling, that emotion. That is affective component, emotional component of attitude. Behavioral component, I was telling, whatever you are behaving or acting. The behavior component of an attitude consists of a person's tendency to behave in its particular way towards an object. Suppose you are behaving, I was giving one example, what you are behaving based on your thinking, your thoughts. Suppose I was telling you are sitting in the public place and you don't like smoke. So that means you are going and requesting that person and throwing that cigarette from that person or not to smoke in the public use. That means your behavior is saying you don't like smoke. That is coming from your behavior. Suppose you don't like a person is cheating to everyone, or person is too much good, doesn't know how to say no, doesn't know how to manage his life, how to do expenses, and you are guiding and behaving, or you are going with that person. Your friend is not able to manage his life, manage his family, and you are helping. Your behavior is helping. That means you are a good manager. So that kind of behavior is coming from the person. That is called behavioral component of attitude. So these are the three components, three trends, you can say, three driving force of attitude, which are controlling human attitude: cognitive approach, affective approach, and behavioral approach. Then we'll read another thing, another concept, which is perception. I was telling what is the difference between perception and attitude. The main difference is perception is very much internal. You are thinking, you cannot see, you cannot, only thing you can visualize, or you can feel that whenever you understand there is a perception. In attitude, suppose you don't, you are thinking something, you have an attitude. So it will reflect in your life in long run or short run, but perception will not reflect. For example, I am giving you, once you read or understand what is perception, you can understand. Suppose the same example will take. Whenever you are traveling, you are watching something, you are going in a vehicle, in a car or in a bike or in a train, you are watching outside. You saw something, a vehicle, a car or a person you saw in the same color. You saw a car which is having same color, same model, same company, and which you are thinking the same car I have. Whatever you had earlier, the same car in your family, or same bike, same vehicle, you are seeing the exactly same one. Not the same one, but the color is same, the model is same. So you are thinking something, you are drawing a perception. So here in this scenario, you are the perceiver who is looking, and the car is the target object. Whatever perception you are drawing, whatever you are seeing is the target. And the situation is the environment, the time, how you are seeing, how closely you are seeing, that is the situation. So after seeing all these things, you are drawing a perception that this car, this bike has a good popularity in the market. So that means I bought it. Some people, but you have a perception in your mind that I don't know what you are thinking, good or bad. That is not reflecting your attitude. That is a perception. So in that perception, that depends on the your attitude. So suppose you are a very positive mind. So I have given the perception, whoever looking at the target, so what you are thinking dependent on those 5 6 points: attitude, motive, interest, experience, expectation, self-concept. So all these things driving the perceiver's uh, motive. Suppose you are a negative person. So that means you will think, okay, so that is a worst car. I bought it and this same person bought it. But you are a positive person. You are thinking, okay, this is the best vehicle. I bought it and this person bought it. So there are many people buying this car. So that means whatever you are thinking, what is the perception you are trying, it dependent on the attitude, motive. What is your purpose? What are you thinking? Suppose you are joining in the class, your motive is to study. So you are listening the concept. You are trying to relate that. If your motive is wrong, you don't want to study. You don't know what is the subject is there in the syllabus. That means you are just hearing, logging, but you are not listening. So you are perceiving in a different manner, or you don't perceive it. So that means motive is controlling a lot of things in perception. Interest. Suppose you have interest in movie, or you have interest in technology, or you have interest in social science, you have interest in history, but I am telling you something related to science. So you will not put your interest. But you have interest in history, I am teaching you history, or I am gifting you a history book. So you are reading, you have a different perception based on your interest. Experience. Experience is like something. Suppose you have a lot of experience in Zoom class, or you are very new. So your perception is different when you are new or when you are experienced. Suppose you have attended so many classes in the Zoom, so many online classes. So you know what are the things to teach or how a teacher should behave. You have a different perception out of it. And you don't have any experience. That means your perception is bad. So experience is one thing which is controlling again the perception. Expectation. Expectation means suppose you are working in an organization or in a person, you have certain expectation in terms of recognition, salary, whatever. So if that organization is not meeting your expectation, that means you are you are having a different perception on that organization. Suppose ତମେ ଗୋଟେ କାମ କରୁଛ, ତମେ ଭାବିଲ ଏଇ କମ୍ପାନୀ ମତେ ବହୁତ ଭଲ ଦରମା ଦେବ, but that organization is not meeting your expectation, is not giving you a good salary what you have expected. That means you have a wrong perception on that organization. Suppose that organization is giving you a very good salary, whatever you expected, it's giving more salary. That means you have a very good perception on that organization. So that is perception is driven from the expectation. So these are the things. Another point I have written, self-concept. So it depends how a person is, thinking, behaving, and internally how a person is. Suppose you are a very good person, you are a very good attitude, good person, so you will definitely think good on anything. If you are a bad person, so you will not think good on anything. So that means all these characteristics, all this behavior, attitude, motive, interest, experience, expectation, self-concept, all these things are controlling the perceiver. So that means that is the characteristics of perceiver. Another thing is target. Target means whatever you are looking. In that previous example, car was the target. To take another example, suppose I am teaching how I am looking, or you are going to a interview to someone to meet for a job. That means how a person is looking, his physical experience, physical appearance is different. Suppose a person is looking very good, definitely you will have a good perception in that. Suppose you are joining in a party, a person is coming with a party wear. So perception is good. Suppose a person is coming without a party wear, a normal dress, office dress. So your perception is different. In office, you will see someone coming in a party dress. So your perception will be different. So କେମିତି ଲୋକଟା ଦେଖା ହଉଛି, that is important. Verbal communication, non-verbal communication. Communication is one thing, one important thing for the perception. ଲୋକଟା କେମିତି କହୁଛି, verbal communication କଣ କଣ ଆସୁଛି? ତମର ମାନେ speech ଯୋଉ English communication, what is the volume that person is using, how that person is contacting the command over the vocabulary language. All these things are coming in the verbal communication. If a person is speaking very well, then definitely that person is able to inspire you through the verbal communication. Non-verbal communication, anything which is not in terms of words, that means eye contact, facial expression, body posture, these are non-verbal communication. So communication is one aspect. You are listening from the target and you are drawing an attitude on that object, on that target based on these factors. Another thing is object. Suppose sometimes object is different. Suppose a group of person is going. Particular school people are going in a picnic, crossing the road and you are facing them. So you are drawing one perception based on that group. So in that case, group is suppose a group particularly crossing the road in a different manner. So you are telling they don't know the courtesy. So you are blaming the entire group. So maybe there are 1-2 person in that group, they are good. But you are having a different perception. This particular school people doesn't know how to cross the road or knows very well, they are very disciplined. So you are drawing that perception for the entire group. So here group is the object. So you are not telling one by one. Suppose 10, 15 people are standing on the road. So there is an accident. So you are giving a statement that no one is coming forward and helping. You are blaming the entire group. Maybe 1 or 2 person is good in that group. Or people are very much helpful. So the entire group is object in your eyes. So that is what I mean. Here the targets are different. Different situation, different expression, like communication skill. So based on that, you are defining the target. You are we're communicating, characterizing the target based on the perceiver quality and the person who is perceiving, or the person to whom you are perceiving, that is target, the quality of this person. Situation. Situation is the environment, time. Suppose I will take a class tomorrow 6 o'clock. Then some of you will have a perception, okay, this sir is early, but he is taking a class at 6 o'clock. Some of you may be thinking, why 6 o'clock? You can take 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. People who wake up after 9, then, so there may be problem for them. So different people have different perception based on the time. The same example, if I am wearing a party dress and going to office, if you are wearing a office dress going to party, so based on the time changes. So your perception will vary. Work setting and social setting. In the workplace, I will have a different perception. In the home, I will have a different perception. Suppose I am the same person, I am at home. I am staying with my family, my parents, my uh, kids, my wife. So, but the same person when I am going to office in a corporate environment, I'll have a different objective, different purpose, different behavior. So my attitude will differ whenever I am work than family. That is called work setting. Social is the same thing. In the society, in the colony, wherever I am staying, I'll have a different attitude. That is not the same. It doesn't mean that suppose I am very soft spoken. So I talk to the people very nicely, I mingle with the people. Maybe my behavior is different. So after seeing all these things, one person will have a different perception on me. So that is social setting. Based on the society, how I am behaving, maybe that person is not good, so I am behaving good. It doesn't mean that my behavior is that. So social setting will drive the perception. War setting also will drive the perception. So these are the three things, three characteristics of perception. Perceiver, target, situation. These are the points you can remember. Attitude, motive, interest, experience, expectation, self-concept. Then in target, the appearance, the communication, the objects. In situation, time, war setting, social setting. These are the different characteristics of perception. So one can elaborate and write your answers on this. The next thing will read the process behind perception. What are the process? So how a perception is getting created? We'll consider the same example. So you can see this stage. These things you can remember: receiving stimuli, selection, organize, interpreting, and out. These are the 5 steps and the process. What is stimuli? We can consider the same example, whatever you have seen from the road, I was telling. You saw a car or a vehicle. So whatever you are seeing, that is receiving stimuli, input, input to your perception. So whenever you are going traveling, there are a lot of things, hundreds of things in your eyes, but you are not observing, not remembering everything. So whatever you are seeing, all these are receiving input. So these are the five things: touch, smell, sight, taste, sound. ଓଡ଼ିଆରେ ଯୋଉ କୁହନ୍ତିନି ପାଞ୍ଚ ଇନ୍ଦ୍ରିୟ, touch, smell, sight, taste, sound. Through this, you are receiving everything. Whatever you are seeing, watching, so these are the input to your perception. So your that car is one input. You have seen many things, but why you remember car? Because the same color, same model car was yours once upon a time. So that means you have created one perception on that object. Next is selection. Selection is nothing but whatever you are seeing, you are selecting one thing. You have seen many things. Cars you have seen, tree you have seen, truck you have seen, but you have selected car because something you saw similarities in that car. And these things are coming and happening automatically. You are not making a list, whatever you are seeing, you are not selecting, you are not tick marking. Everything is coming automatically without your knowledge. So that is the process. So you are getting all the input. Out of all input, you are selecting one thing. Then you are organizing. Organizing what? Whatever you are selecting, you are giving a meaning to that. There are three things written on that head: proximity, similarities, differences. Proximity means how closely you have seen, how neatly you have seen. Suppose you have seen that car very close to you, and that is similar to your what you used to have. Same color, same model, same company. So that is similarities. Differences, if there is a different, so you are having a different perception if there are differences. So based on that input, you are organizing everything from your selection. You have seen a lot of things, that is receiving input, receiving stimuli. Then you are selecting something. Then you are organizing something. So as I told you, all these things are happening automatically. You are organizing your selection, you are receiving. Interpreting. Interpreting at this another process. So once you have selected, organized, then you are interpreting. What is interpretation here? Okay, I have the similar car long back, whatever I saw. That is the interpretation. So when you're coming to this conclusion, before that, all these steps are happening. You are receiving all the input, you are selecting, you are organizing, then you are interpreting. The last step is output. Output, what is coming out of the process. Whenever you are having a perception, you are drawing a perception, what is the outcome? What is the output of that? In that case, what is the outcome? So you have a perception, that is the outcome. So you are seeing something that will stamp in your memory, or you have, suppose you have a perception that whatever car I used to have, the same car the other people have, that is a good car. So that is the perception. So that is the output. That you have a positive output. So that coming out of all these things, you are collecting all the input, you are selecting, you are organizing, you are interpreting. So all these things are coming out of that. So that is the final output of entire things. So this is one thing, one important thing, the process behind the perception. First you receive, then select, then organize, then interpret, then the output. And when you are organizing, it depends on the closeness, the similarities and dissimilarities. So all these factors are dependent on the organization. You understood these steps. What are the different characteristics and process behind the perception? Then let me go through your syllabus. We are here in Unit 2 organizational behavior. We'll complete this in another one class. We are studying these different traits, different behavior of human psychology, what is impacting organization. Then another concept when we'll study motivation. Another 2-3 class, maybe your unit 2 will complete. Tomorrow is holy, you will not have a class tomorrow. The next class will be Friday. Friday I'll send the schedule. We'll have the class. We'll discuss this remaining part of the unit 2. We'll continue this. Another 2 class it will complete. Okay, thank you.